Story 1. The hallway that shouldn't exist. This happened my senior year of high school, and for years I tried to convince myself I imagined it, but I know what I saw, and the worst part is, I never found out how far it actually went. It was late October, a Thursday night. The kind of night where the air outside has that sharp chill, and the hallways of the school seem unnaturally quiet after dark. I was staying late because of yearbook. I was editor that year, and we were rushing to finish the senior portraits, layout before the deadline. My teacher, Mrs. Hall, had left hours earlier, leaving me alone in the computer lab. By the time I finally saved everything, I realized the sun had long set. The glowing monitors were the only light in the room, and I could feel that strange loneliness that comes with being the last person in a building meant for hundreds. I packed up, slung my backpack over my shoulder, and started down the familiar hallway. But when I turned toward the science wing and the quickest way out, I froze. The hallway looked wrong. Normally, the science wing ends in a set of double doors that lead to the parking lot. But tonight the hall didn't end. It stretched further than I'd ever seen, lockers lining the walls, dim lights flickering overhead. I blinked hard. For a second, I thought maybe I was just in the wrong hall. I knew this school inside out. I'd spent 4 years roaming every inch of it, but I couldn't deny what I was seeing. This hallway went on longer than the building should have allowed. At first I thought it was some trick of the light, but then I noticed something that made my stomach twist. The lockers had numbers painted on them, and they weren't counting up like normal. They were counting down. 37, 236, 235. Each locker I passed made the hairs on my neck stand taller. The numbers got lower and lower, as if I was being led somewhere. And the silence. God, the silence. Schools are never truly quiet. There's always some hum from the lights, the air vents, or echoes of footsteps down another hall. But here, nothing. Just the sound of my shoes against the linoleum. I don't know why I didn't turn back. Maybe I was too curious, or maybe it was something else, something pulling me deeper. When I reached locker 210, I heard it knocking. A soft, deliberate tap, tap, tap from inside the metal. I froze, staring at the dented blue door. My first thought was that someone was messing with me. Maybe another student had stayed late, or a janitor was playing a prank. But the sound, it was too strange, too steady. My hand trembled as I reached for the handle. The locker door groaned as it swung open, empty, except for a folded sheet of notebook paper lying at the bottom. I bent down, heart racing, and opened it. My blood ran cold. It was my name, written dozens of times in messy handwriting, line after line filling the entire page, and at the very bottom one last line, "See you at locker 199. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the paper. I looked up and realized the countdown hadn't ended yet. I was only at 210. That, I meant 11 more lockers until what? Until whoever wrote that note met me? I shoved the paper back, slamming the locker shut, and ran. I sprinted faster than I ever had, back toward the light of the normal hallway. When I finally burst through the double doors into the cool night air, my chest heaved and sweat chilled my skin. The next day, I went back, desperate to prove it was just stress, or a dream. But the science wing was normal. The hall ended at the double doors, just like always. No endless stretch, no numbered lockers. But the worst part? Inside my backpack, I found the folded sheet of notebook paper, the one that said, "See you at locker 199. Story 2. The sub-basement. When I tell people this story, they always ask why I didn't just leave, why I went further when every instinct told me not to. But that's the thing about being 13. Curiosity overrides fear, and sometimes you regret it forever. It was 8th grade, at a middle school that was nearly a century old. Everyone joked it was haunted. Teachers rolled their eyes, but students whispered about it constantly. The basement was the worst. Dark, musty, full of broken furniture and boxes of forgotten trophies. Nobody liked going down there, but detention sometimes landed you in the library just above it. That's how it started. I had detention for being late too many times. The coach supervising didn't care, and halfway through he dismissed everyone. Everyone except me. I was still packing up when I heard it, a thud. From beneath the floor. It wasn't random either. It came again. And again. Steady, like footsteps. I should have left. But something about the sound. I had to know where it came from. I crept into the basement. The lights buzzed faintly, casting long shadows across stacks of old desks and dusty cabinets. The air smelled like mildew and rust. Then I noticed a door I'd never seen before, propped open just a crack. Light spilled out, faint and yellow. Inside was a metal staircase leading down even further, a sub-basement. I hesitated, but the footsteps below made the choice for me. They echoed faintly, drawing me in. The stairs groaned under my weight as I descended. The walls were stone, damp with age, pipes dripping overhead. The air grew colder with every step. At the bottom was a long hallway with doors lining both sides. The footsteps stopped. I tried the first door. Locked. The second, locked. The third swung open, and what I saw inside made my stomach twist. It was a classroom, but not like any classroom I'd ever seen. The chalkboard was covered in names, layer upon layer, written in white chalk, until it looked almost like a wall of scratches. The desks were worse. Carved deep into the wood were symbols. Not letters, not numbers, something else. Some of them looked fresh. On the teacher's desk sat a folder. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Inside were old black and white photos of students. Every face was scratched out. I dropped the folder, my breath catching in my throat. That's when I heard it. Not footsteps this time, a voice, whispering from the dark end of the hall. "Don't forget to write your name." I bolted. I don't even remember running up the stairs. I didn't stop until I was outside, gasping in the fresh air. I never went back to that basement. But here's the thing. A month later, the school announced renovations. They sealed off the basement completely, and a week after that, one of my classmates, a kid named Darren, disappeared. The police searched everywhere. His locker, his house, the woods behind the school. They never found him. But I swear, sometimes when I close my eyes, I hear that voice again, whispering, "Don't forget to write your name." Story 3, The Classroom Lights. This one happened just last year, when I returned to my old high school as a substitute teacher. It felt weird being back. The hallways looked smaller somehow, the lockers dingier, the paint peeling in places I never noticed as a student. But some things never changed. The faint smell of cafeteria food, the squeak of shoes on waxed floors. That day there was an early dismissal. By 1 the halls were empty. I stayed behind in a third-floor classroom to grade some papers. That's when it started. The lights began flickering. Not random, deliberate. The ones above the student desks blinked in a pattern, 4 short, 2 long, repeating. I stared, trying to make sense of it. Morse code? A signal? I tried the switch. Nothing changed. Then all at once, the room went dark. Total silence. My breath caught in my chest. Then slowly the lights flickered back on, and every desk was filled, not with students but with shadows, dark, motionless silhouettes sitting in the chairs, all facing me. I stumbled back, heart pounding. My eyes watered, and for a second I thought maybe I was hallucinating. I blinked, and the room was empty again. I grabbed my bag and ran out. That night, I couldn't sleep. I searched the school archives online, and that's when I found it. In the 1970s, a fire had broken out on the 3rd floor. A classroom full of students had been trapped, their teacher unable to save them. the room they died in, the exact one I had been standing in. And the pattern of the flickering lights, it matched. The distress signal in Morse code, SOS.